Laura is my sister. She and I grew up with a lot of quirky hobbies. We were the best of friends.
She started getting headaches. So we took her to getting tests done and CT scans of her brain, and everything came back normal. I decided to have her blood checked.
I remember my dad on the phone, and he sounded very, very upset. My dad hung up the phone and he said, "Laura, we need to go to the hospital."
So we took her to the hospital hoping that maybe the tests were wrong. Came back more positive, that came back as AML, which is one of the worst leukemias you can have. Initially, the doctors were always coming in, checking up, so I thought, great support. That was all in the beginning. That all disappeared. Family doctor going on holidays without telling us, putting Laura basically in the hands of she was an MD, but not fully fledged, that she was training.
So instead of continually injecting a needle in her to draw out blood, they instead wanted to go with a procedure where they would attach something to her heart, and in that operation they punctured her lung, and as a result she developed pneumonia.
So she had a hard time breathing, but instead of stopping the protocol with chemotherapy drugs, they continue with the protocol, as well as trying to treat the pneumonia that she had, and she just got worse. Her stomach was getting quite big, quite painful, and the doctors kept saying, "No, it'll be okay, everything is fine, don't worry." Anyway, the protocol did work, so that was great news. We felt relieved, but unfortunately, Laura was still so sick. She was so sick, they took her down to emergency, and they said, no, it'd just be a short time. There in emergency, she'll have one-on-one care from a nurse. We got a call, "You better come down right away. We think your daughter's dying." We phoned for Christine to come down. But they had taken the life support equipment off her before we had a chance to say our goodbyes all together. And they came back to their room where we were at, saying, "Your daughter has passed away. You can go and see her now." So I consulted the BC Doctors Association, and they even said that there was lack of communication. Your daughter should never be under the care of a doctor who's still in training. You should have had a regular doctor coming in all the time to see her, which Laura didn't, because her regular doctor was on holidays. Even with the chief doctor, we couldn't get any proper answers. They kept saying they're sorry. We'll try to make sure communication is better improved in the hospitals. Cleanliness was a key factor. The fact while her immune system was really low, the nurses would come in and didn't wear a mask. Even if they were suffering with a cold or a cough, they would still come in and cough over Laura. So we went to the lawyer, and they said that basically, if your daughter dies, even if you win the case, which costs a lot of money, you would get very little compensation, because basically children are worthless in the eyes of the law. Not only children, it's elderly people, disabled people, they're all classes the same. If you're not a breadwinner, you're worthless. And this is our lousy laws in Canada based on English laws. And they don't change it. And you'd say, why they don't change it? Because the medical society and the insurance companies are so strong, they don't want to change anything. They don't want to have to put out hundreds, thousands of dollars. We're not in there for the money. None of us are. We're there for change. If there's a bad doctor out there, we want something done.
We knew that Laura wasn't treated well. There was more that could have been done. And we didn't want to see this happening to any other child, any other person. So really, we lost Laura, but we wanted to protect others.